Okay, password overload part 2. Again, part 1 was more on issues with passwords, and I think I took about 70 slides and put those into about 5 or 6 slides because the first time we did this, it was just way too much, and I think there was people sleeping in that class. So, which is fine. I got really good feedback on that, and we're good. So this is part 2. So again, not a lot of new information, more just trying to still demystify everything we talked about before. I just gave your guys some time for your brains to start working on that. Okay, I think everyone in here knows me, so I'll kind of cut this spiel. But again, I just want to tell you I'm not a crazy guy up here telling you to do crazy things. She's not here, so I don't have to put out this part, but Bonnie is my grandmother. We're good. Again, my emails, at some point they came from Technical Consulting, from Dylan Wisdom. Now I've changed the emails just from Dylan Wisdom. That was a mistake on my behalf. I didn't realize I was doing that. These are my emails, the way I have them set up. Again, when I send this email, it'll have the presentations, and it'll probably have part 1 and part 2. But I put in there I post the videos on YouTube, so it'll take you to YouTube to watch them. And then it takes you to a link to download the slides and the handouts if you want another copy. Like, let's say you scribble this one all up and you want a fresh one to clean your notes or whatever, that'll be in there. And then usually after each class, there's some questions I wasn't able to answer, maybe about related topics, but usually about unrelated topics that I still want to help you answer, and so I put those in small little articles here.
So it'll be Dylan, when you're
on
emails, it'll look just like that, right?
My name will look the same. Like on Yahoo, though, because I know that's what you were looking at. Yahoo has little circles. This is a screenshot from Gmail, so it will look slightly different. But in either systems, in any email system, if you search for Dylan Wisdom, you should see it pop up.
Thank you.
And again, if you don't find it, call me, text me, whatever.
Got it.
I would say email me, but that may be part of the problem, so. All right, guys. So this is the overview for today. So I'm going to go over a quick review. And again, I'm going to try and make that as quick as possible. The goal of the review is just to get our mindsets back to what we did last time in transition into here. So it's not really new material. Then we're going to go into managing passwords in your password manager. Thank you. Don't ask me again. Interrupt my presentation. Sorry about that. Managing passwords, and then we're going to go through some additional features that password managers offer other than just purely doing passwords. And then we're going to go more into depth about protecting your password. That's our password manager. That's about like creating the strong passwords, giving someone access to it if something happens to you or vice versa, or if you get locked out, things like that. Any questions? Can everyone hear me okay?
Well, you tend to drop your voice from time to time.
Okay, if I do that, just...
I can hear you now fine, but as you get more...
I know.
It kind of goes
He's
soft.
testing you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Feel free if I do that, just be like, talk louder, man. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, because I don't notice I do it, and I try to be conscious of that, but I'm sure you'll notice it more the harder I think, because I'm, anyway. Okay, so quick review. Of course, please ask questions on this, but again, this isn't intended to be new material. Maybe for some of you it might be, but it's just to try and get our mindset back into this subject. Okay, so last time we looked at the password problem, describing why passwords are so difficult to manage, and addressing that. Then we did a quick review of password managers. Then I did a quick review of how to set up your password manager, and then we put it all together at the end. How that looked like. So the password problem, I went over why passwords matter, common password mistakes, why we make these mistakes or tend to make these mistakes, and how to create strong passwords. Then we went a little bit deeper, and then I suggested instead of trying to deal with passwords all on your own, because we're human when we tend to make weak passwords or not manage them well, I suggested, in my opinion, one of the best ways to handle that problem in today's way is with password managers. And those act as our vault. And then we talked about the benefits of password manager, such as not having to write them down or remember them, making it easier to create secure ones, easier to manage them, etc. I also went into a little bit of detail about different types of information other than passwords that we can store in them, which we will go in more depth today. Securing your password manager and some other features and pricing based on that. And then when it came to the setting up the password manager, we went over compatible places like your phone and your computer. Someone asked me, did you ask me about how to get it on your computer rather than your phone?
Yeah.
Yep, so that's kind of what we went over there very lightly, and we'll go into more. Installing it, creating your account, importing your information, and protecting it again. If you see the common theme here, protecting your manager is as important as setting it up. And again, I hope you all did your homework because I'm handing out a quiz. I hope you grabbed it up at the front here. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. But your homework was to kind of keep in the mindset or actually go in and see what passwords are weak or are bad in terms of what we did last time. Secure the vital ones, and just to give that out, those are, I'm talking about anything like your bank accounts and your email address. Either that's Yahoo or Gmail or whatever. Those were accounts that I said for sure if you have a reused password on those, you should probably change that and make them more secure. And then choose a password manager. If you didn't do that up until now, that is totally okay. There is a lot of information that there is in terms of making that decision, but I tasked you with at least thinking about it or attempting to if you felt comfortable. If that was what your decision was, again, I was talking about how there's more than one way to do it, to make your password secure other than using a manager. That's just a really good, easy solution we have available to us.
Question?
Yes.
Choose a password manager. I
Yes.
know there's some people that haven't been here, but a password manager will make it easier for you to get into your computer and no one to get into your computer, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, so, and you're saying choosing your password manager.
Yeah.
So.
In terms of, there's many different products in which do the same thing.
And I
Yeah.
knew you explained that.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is you have to be on the computer to get your manager.
Yep.
And do you Google manager and say I need a password manager?
You can. The only problem you have with that, which is not a problem, you just have to be careful, is there's a lot of companies that are going to say I'm the best and I'm going to sell this to you.
Right.
You really want to vet what solution you have the best. And I think if you haven't chosen a product that you like yet, whether it's one of the free ones or one of the paid ones, one of my biggest suggestions is to try and see if you can do like a free trial or something and see if it works for you. And what I mean by that is we're going to go over some demonstration on how to actually use it. No. But what I'm saying is if you find one manager easier to use than the other in terms of what we're doing here, that may help your decision.
And the last handout that he gave, on
Right,
number
I
one
know.
has 3 listed.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
those 3 lists.
Yeah.
I didn't know for sure
Yeah.
if other people understood what a manager was.
Yeah, no, that's totally okay.
Okay.
And those 3 listed are very good options. They're ones that I've heard of
Right.
and whatnot, but they aren't the only ones either. So, and then I can go over a little more in depth on this, but you can either add, and I'll show you how to add accounts manually in this, or there are, depending on where you're coming from, there are ways to import a whole bunch of information at once. And then attend the next class. So if you didn't do anything 1 through 4, you at least did 5 right if you're here. So
When is the next class?
this is the next class.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the end of them then?
This was our homework from last time.
This is the end of 1 and 2 of this class. Yeah.
No, I understand
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But again, if you weren't here for part 1, I don't think this is a waste of time at all. I think you're still going to come out with plenty of information. So I don't think you'll be entirely lost. We just went into the same concepts, but a little bit less. That was pretty quick. It took me about 10 minutes. Any questions? Yes.
Well, I have one big question about password managers.
Sure.
Because I have a very good friend that's worked for the government for like 15 years writing programs,
Sure.
and she will not use a password manager.
Sure. I think there's
And I'm
valid
not
points to that.
sure, you know, she just doesn't think it's a secure thing as far as, so if you can.
No,
give
I
that some time.
will absolutely answer this question as many times as people will ask them, because it's a very valid point and we all need to be conscious of this. Just because I am telling you one thing is secure, and that is my opinion, you also need to understand what you are consuming and interacting with, right? So, password managers, when you talk about security as a whole, you're talking about your appetite for risk. How much risk are you willing to consume? The risk I am talking about with passwords in general is if you have really weak passwords and you reuse them all, that's a huge security risk. Now, if you implement password managers, you're going to, if you use them in the way that I would suggest you to, you're going to mitigate how many reused passwords you have. You're going to mitigate how many of those passwords are weak. And so that already takes your metric down. So if you think about it like that, your attack surface, if you think of it. Then the other question is like, okay, of course, if I have one password to unlock all my passwords, of course, that is something to consider. I mean, you have one key to the kingdom. The thing that we want to talk about there, and unfortunately is at the very end of all these slides, but we'll talk about protecting your password manager because that is as important as putting all your passwords in it. But generally what you need to do is you need to create a very secure password or passphrase, something that's very complex, right? That's your number one key. And then on top of that, we will add MFA, which is another way to authenticate yourself. It's common to have like one-time passwords that are sent to your phone or email, things like that. So in other words, if they have just the master password, even though that's really secure, they would not be able to access your information all alone. So those are two things. So it's how much it's going to increase your security in general, the security of your master password to get into the vault. And the second thing is the company you're using, that and how they secure your information, right? Most of these companies, what they do is they store your passwords at rest encrypted. So in other words, your password is all your passwords, they're scrambled, so only your master key can unlock them, right? So that makes sense. And then normally when you, like if you log into a website, most of the time your credentials, and I'm not saying this is a problem, this is just an extra layer of security. When you see HTTPS on your website, you know that's a secure website. What that means is when I send information to that website, you can't see it. So what happens most of the time is you give a website your username and you give your website a password, and then that's transmitted over the internet to that website securely even. But the password manager, even though it is secure to do that, they don't do that. What they do is they move the vault onto your local computer and you unlock the key locally. So there's no, your password is never put on the internet. So it only stays with you, and that's another huge thing. And they also encrypt it so that the workers who manage your data can't see it either. Like even if they wanted to, they can't go in without your key. So that's, without getting huge into it, there's a lot, long story short, there's a lot of security protocols into that, and we can talk about that more if you have more specific questions, but I think that's the overall like high view of why I consider them more secure than you managing your own passwords. But of course, there is certain reasons why certain people may not want to do that. It is a huge level of trust to insert into a company like that. Yeah, did I explain that clear enough? Yeah. But to be clear, I just wanted to make sure it's like, I believe in password managers because I've seen a lot of other issues related to them, but they aren't the only solution, and I know that there are reasons to not use them. So, yeah. Great. Any other questions? Did I talk low again? Okay. Okay, so again, there's not a lot of slides in this. I'm going to do a lot of things kind of as a demonstration. And first, I want to start with using and to add accounts to your password manager, because that really starts to get the ball rolling, right? Today, I personally pay for one password, so I'm going to show demonstrations in that. But all password managers perform the same functions essentially. So like the plus button to add an account may be in a slightly different place, but they're all going to, the concepts align. Okay? If I thought I would have the time and it wouldn't confuse people, I would love to show all of the options, but I think that would be too much. So Okay. All right. So.
Kiss principal.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So adding new accounts. So we can do that both manually and automatically, and I'm going to explain that to both of those options to you. So this is just the slide contents, but to add an account manually, we're literally going to go to the password manager, and we're going to open the manager, click the plus, select the type, enter it, and test. I went through that fast because I'm going to show you. I don't want you to write it down yet. Or you can, but that's not the important part. Okay.
I like it when you do this because it changes
Yes.
the whole thing.
Right. So at the end, if we have more specific questions on how to install the managers and stuff like that, I am more than happy to answer. But at this point, we're just assuming that you have been able to install the manager, create your account, and install it, and that's it. You haven't done anything else with it, okay? Okay.
So you went to Amazon.
You went to Amazon?
Nope, I did not go to Amazon.
Oh, I thought you
Nope.
looked on Amazon.
So I'm in my password manager now.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's it.
And is this one password that you're in?
This is one password. But again, password managers, even though some of them have some different additional features at the core, they're all pretty much the same. So that's why I feel comfortable going ahead and showing you how to do that in this one, because I think it'll translate very nicely.
So can you go back from the beginning to show us how you got to your manager? Oh, you have an icon?
Yes. So at this point, assume that you've created your account, you've installed the
okay, got it,
manager,
got it.
and then you just click on the icon on your desktop, and we're there so far.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
The installation will change slightly depending on which product you have, but they're still pretty streamlined. Again, at the end, if you've attempted this and you're having struggles, I'm more than happy to answer that. It's just one of those things that's hard to teach because I could teach a whole hour and a half on how to go over 5 different ones and install them. So I don't want you to think I'm trying to skip over that, just trying to get to the meat and potatoes of it.
So what password manager do you have?
I use one password. I just
So
realized.
are you doing it as if you're us,
Yeah, correct.
going into the one
One password.
He already has his manager selected.
Right.
Yep.
He selected his manager, but he's not sharing.
No, I am.
And what is your password?
I think he's a little too smart.
I mean, will you name who you bought or who you
Yeah,
were
it's
with?
one password.
Huh?
The name of the company is One Password.
Oh, shoot.
I know. I'm sorry. I know that's.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. The actual product name is called
You were saying
One.
you
Like.
only had one password, and I'm going, okay.
It's on your sheet.
Sorry.
I know, but I didn't bring that up. Okay.
No, it's okay. We're all learning. Like there's a lot of information, so we're good. Yeah. Sorry. The actual product I'm using is called One Password.
you. Okay.
Yeah. Which.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, my son has the same one, he says he's really happy.
Yeah. I mean, so I come from a technical background, of course, right? And so there's many different products and many different opinions, and there are several that are really good. One password just fit my needs the best, and that's why I'm kind of trying to
Okay.
say that. But yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so one password that you can also unlock with only one password, I think, is the whole. Yeah. So okay. So I know this is hard for some, and just bear with me, but I want to try to extrapolate the whole how did we get to this point, because there's a lot of details leading up to this. But like I said, imagine you went to onepassword.com, you created your account, you downloaded the tool, and it works. Okay? I know that's a big ask, but bear with me. I promise I've got a method to my madness, and it'll make a lot more sense going forward, okay? Please ask more questions. Yeah.
One question. So when you got your one password, and that's who you picked,
Uh-huh.
you went in there, and there's a lot of things you have to answer in there?
Very few.
Okay.
Very few, yeah. Because really all it is, it's like an empty vault. What they do is they give you a secure vault, and it's your job to really stuff it with information.
So if you get in there
Yeah.
in your little vault, or you get your one password, you get in there, and do you have to put in all your passwords like to Amazon and all of
Yep.
that? You have to know those.
Well, hang on. Partially. Hang on.
All right.
So,
Is that a dumb question?
no, it's not a dumb question. So where we're at now is how I'm adding passwords one by one.
Okay.
So there are ways to import, and we went over that a little bit, but I'm going to show you how to add your accounts one by one, which is probably what most people are going to be doing, because the import really works if you have an Excel sheet or something written down with your passwords in it. This is really going to be good for the people who keep their passwords on pen and paper,
Okay.
which I feel like, and not,
That's me.
yeah, and that's very normal. I mean, that's a lot of people, so don't worry about it. But this is coming from the aspect, it's like, okay, I've got, these are my passwords.
Got it.
How do I get them into here?
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
We also have to have their website too, don't we?
yeah, onepassword.com.
No, I meant the password for the accounts that you're linking into.
Yes, that is true.
You also have to have the what?
Their website.
Website. email,
Yeah.
Or email, either way.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
When you go to put them in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go, not that I mind the questions, but I'm going to go ahead because I feel like now
Okay.
we're asking questions about things I'm going to show. So
Alright.
You go on and see if you answer them before we ask them.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So long story short, I opened my password manager
Okay.
and this is my list of passwords. I only have one right now. And I'll show you how I added this, but I just added this one so you could see what I'm talking about, because I've just showed you an empty list. You're going to be like, where's the list? This is the list. So as we go through this demo, you'll see more and more items show up here.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to delete this guy and I'm going to show you how I added him. Again, I just want to show you where the list is at, which is usually on the left-hand side. And ignore all this stuff on the left right now. Just pay attention to here and over here, and I will get to this in a few moments. But I'm going to go ahead and delete them. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Hang on, because I don't have the password saved anywhere else. No, it's okay. This is real-world troubleshooting.
Sure is.
Okay, if I do this, you guys have to promise me you're going to do as I say, not as I do, okay? For just this one moment, so I can show you how to do it the right way.
Oh, I see what you're
Don't pay attention. This isn't happening.
I see it.
I didn't just write this down. Okay.
Somewhere else.
Yeah. So, in other words, yes, I copied my password into a notepad, which you should never do. That is the absolute worst thing you could ever do. But this is a fake account. There is nothing tied to me personally. I am doing this just for the sake of this demonstration. Please never do that.
When you are done, I have to ask you why that is never done. But don't answer now.
Okay, but remind me, because I want to answer that, because that's a very good question. Okay, so start again. So all of our passwords are here. I have none currently. Don't worry about this demo thing. I will explain that. But most password managers, if most of you are going to start out adding a few passwords at a time manually, and that's okay. I mean, that's where most of us are coming from, so we'll have to start there. So we're going to pick a new item. See at the top here where it says add new item? And that's on the top right of this guy here. And then it's going to give you several different options. And I want to clarify something. I have always used the term as a password manager because that is what they are called. But as you see here, there is password and there is login. We're not going to choose the password option. Password is just a note to keep a password secure, but nothing related to it. In other words, it would just be a note. The login is really what you're going to do where you set up a username and a password and a URL or a website together so that it can manage and log in for you. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
Yeah. So if you set it up as just a password and not a login, you'll still be able to get to that password. But the beauty of a password manager is like if you go to Amazon.com, which is what I'm going to be using here, it's just going to sign in for you. So you don't have to remember the password. But you can only do it if you do it via login.
Login.
Yeah.
Choose the login. and
Right. So even though we're saying password, I'm going to clarify further and say most of the time you're going to be actually adding a login.
The entire login so that.
Right. Right. And you were exactly right. To do the login, you have to have the URL, the website, but we'll figure out how to add that later. No, it's okay. None of you lose me yet. We're okay. We're still good. You don't have to have that at first.
Oh, okay.
So don't stress, because I saw a lot of people like, oh, that's so much work. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't stress yet. No stress
Sorry,
yet.
guys. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's fine. Yeah. No, because you are right though. It is correct, but we'll get there. So,
We're logging in.
yeah, so we're just going to add, so all we're doing is we're adding a login so that we can use it later. Okay. So, few basic pieces of basic information that we need is the name of the login. So I'm going to call it my Gmail. Okay? And I can even do personal or demo or whatever. And then we'll get into more about how you can organize stuff more later. But I'm just going to keep it simple and say this is my Gmail account. Okay? Okay, my username. Okay. Again, this is a question I was asked last time, and it's a very good question. What is the difference between a username and an email address? A username is usually that is usually a username all on its own, and then usually an email address is always appended by the @ sign. That doesn't mean that anytime you use your email address, that is your username necessarily, but that's the easiest way to explain it. A username is not an email address. It's anything else other than that. A lot of websites will use that interchangeably, and that's why it gets confusing. Because sometimes they say, what's your username? And really they're asking for an email address or vice versa. And it gets confusing, but they are two separate things. But that being said, when they say username here, whatever you're using to sign into the website, whether it's a username or an email address, it's the same to your password manager. So you don't have to figure that out at this point. You just, if you go to bank.com and you log in with Dylan Wisdom as your username, you're good. It doesn't have to, or dylanwisdom@gmail.com. That's your username in this instance. Don't overthink that part of it.
You have to have your username and it be distinct to you.
Right, exactly. Yep. And some companies use that as something without an email address. Some people do it with an email address. Okay. Ignore the create part right now. But now I know that my password is this. Right? So I'm going to put my password. I'm going to type my password in here. Okay?
Where did that password come from?
He had
I created it before.
Okay.
We haven't. I'll show you how to create passwords, but right now,
That you say. That is
yeah. Right. Yeah. So I'm really taking you through your own journey.
Yes.
So this is like how you would normally start out, right? So this is going to be the password you're currently using, and then so on. And then I can show you how to add the URL later, but at this point, this is, I know it, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. And that could be as simple as Amazon.com, right? So, and then see, it even changes it for me so I understand where I'm going. Pretty simple. Okay, now, there's a lot of other information you can add down here. It's not necessary at this point. That's advanced stuff. I don't want to confuse you yet. So at the very beginning, really all we need is our username, our email address, and our password. Okay?
Save.
Yep. And then save. Great. Now you see it shows up in my password manager. I'll explain this banner in a second. Ignore that, please. And then there we go. Okay?
Now, to add another one, what do you do?
I will show you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how to manually add a password. Right? So I'm going to go back to my slides here really quick. Away from my password.
Dylan, hold on.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Keep going. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to answer questions.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Now we want to add them automatically. So the problem that we're going to have is we're going to, and then I'll get into how to edit your passwords and stuff and make them more secure. But a lot of us are going to have a handful, probably 50 or so passwords that we need to add manually, okay? And then the goal is going on, we want to add those automatically rather than writing them down, you know, so we can keep up with our digitalize if we ever create accounts or stuff like that. Got it?
Okay, so your password, that long thingy,
Mm-hmm.
what'd you do with it?
Yeah, it's in the manager.
It's in there.
It's in there. That's all. That's all.
Done.
You got to worry about it.
Saved.
It's saved. It's in there.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you don't need it anymore.
Not yet. Hang on. I'm building a story here. It'll make sense. I promise. I promise.
I'll shut up.
No. No, it's fine. You don't have to shut up. Okay, hang on.
Or I'll zip it.
Don't zip it.
I don't like it. Shut up. I should say.
Hang on. I'm gonna turn my screen off for a second so I can get to the right email address.
Reboot.
No wonder they went to Greece.
What'd you say?
I said, no wonder they all went to Greece.
No. Hey.
Hey now.
Hang on. Have I steered you wrong yet?
No.
Yeah. Trust the process. I
No.
promise.
No, it's just some of it. I'm a slow learner, so.
You know
There's
what?
a smarty one back here. She knows her
Ooh.
stuff. You right here.
There's nobody back here. There's nobody back here.
Yeah, I've been in class with you. I know you're good at this. I'm proud of you, though.
Okay. So. Also, it's really easy for me because I do this
Oh, I
on
know,
a daily basis.
yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay. I don't expect. A lot of you are looking at me lost, and that's okay. We have to be a little lost before we can be found. So trust in the process. I promise. Okay. So all I did. So all I did in terms of what you guys should care about is I went to gmail.com
Yeah.
because that's what I'm trying to log into now.
So we don't want it back into one password now, we're trying into Gmail account.
Yeah, so essentially what we did, hang on. So what we did is I stored a password, and I'm just trying to show you now what that means, right? So what does it mean? Okay, you stored it, now what? What's the deal, right? Okay, so now that I stored my password, it's time for me to log into my email address that I just stored, right? So I went to gmail.com, and now I'm like, okay, now I need my email or phone number. And now see how that email address that I saved just shows up here now? Right. I don't have to know anymore. My password manager knows. I transfer that knowledge and that responsibility. This was automatic. I didn't do anything. I just went to gmail.com. That's the beauty of it. Right?
And it like puts everything in for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So what's it doing right now is it sees that I need to enter my username, and then below that username box, it's showing down right below it, it's showing like a list of other accounts that could sign into Gmail. So I'm going to select the one that I want and see it puts it in there for me. And did you see it already threw my password in there? I didn't have to know my password. It typed it in for me.
To get into your
Yeah,
Gmail.
that was it. That's why it's beautiful.
So, okay, say you had Amazon in there.
Yep, I'm going to show you how to...
Does that jump down to that screen before that?
Yep.
And that you just click on that. You don't have to worry about a username or password
Nope.
for my Amazon or whatever the same.
Well, not once you add it.
Not once you put it into the
Correct.
manager, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Ah.
Yes.
It'll show you the whole list of your.
Yeah, because I have probably 5 Amazon. I'm actually going to go through. So I wanted to give you guys the purpose first, right? So I gave you an example, an easy example. I actually created this fake email account so I could go through the whole registration process of Amazon so I could show you how that works. So I'm going to create a fake Amazon account and we'll show you how to do it. But do you see the point that I'm trying to get to? You don't have to memorize the passwords anymore. You just put it in there and it memorizes it for you. Now, of course, our concern...
It's in the bank.
Right,
It's
exactly.
In your bank.
Right. And of course there are security concerns and stuff like that, like I addressed before about them having all your passwords. But there are ways to make that safe. So, and I will address that, of course.
Awesome. Huh.
Yeah, see, now you guys are feeling it, right?
It took me a while, but
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe 5 more lessons and I'll get it down.
Is there any other questions while I'm transitioning to Amazon?
So now you're going to create an Amazon account and put it in your bank.
Yep.
And then that little thing will come down again, and so you just have to click on that and forget about it.
Wow, she's just trying to go through the motions.
That's kind of nice.
Just don't ever lose your key in the well.
Huh?
Don't ever lose your key.
Yeah, don't ever lose my key.
Or you remember this thing.
Oh.
Here we go.
Oh,
You're being ladylike.
so little brain is there.
Okay, now that you created your account in your bank and that long password, that one you had?
Yeah.
What'd you do with that one?
That you need to remember.
Hang on.
It's
Hang
still
on,
in
hang on.
his notes.
We're not there yet?
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's still in his notes.
I'm getting there.
It's always cool.
He doesn't want it in his notes.
Are you asking about that password I copied in the notepad?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
the
No.
long one that you created.
So in theory, I should have had that password written down or in my memory somewhere.
Oh, God.
Because I already made it a hard password, I didn't.
No kidding.
Because I use my password manager. So I don't remember my passwords. So anyway, please ignore that.
Okay.
That should never have happened. I'm sorry. I didn't have the foresight to think I should make it a password 1, 2, 3. Right? So
She wants it. That's what the deal is.
I
She
know.
wants it.
Yeah, right. I do.
Yeah.
You kidding?
Yeah.
Are usernames not a big deal then?
user
Because like if
That's
like
not
you said,
true.
sites make you have to use your email or whatever. So I don't.
Yeah, so the question is, are usernames a big deal? We make all this fuss about passwords. Our username is a big deal, all right? Is that kind of the thought you're having in your head? That's a hard question. Yes, usernames are a big deal. Of course, they're how you identify. So, I mean, at the end of the day, usernames are less of a big deal than passwords, but at the end of it, it's a combination between the two that lets someone into your account. And that's the big reason why we say don't reuse passwords, because it's a lot more common to reuse an email address, right? We don't have 100 random email addresses that we use, right? So if you reuse passwords, but we have always the same email address, it's a lot easier to replicate those combinations on different websites.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Because like you said, some sites that's what they want you to
Right.
use as your username is your email.
Right.
So it's like you're stuck with it.
Exactly. And so what do we do about making our usernames more secure is we make our passwords really secure. That's what we do. Yeah. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, because they don't allow us always to use our
Exactly.
email or
Whatever you want,
we have to
yeah.
create a
Exactly.
username in some
Yeah.
places. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the reason why I say, so it's okay to reuse your usernames, but the thing is I still wouldn't give them out, because what tends to happen is as your emails are exposed and whatnot, you tend to get more spam or scams.
right.
And even though spam and scams aren't necessarily dangerous on their own, it does increase your chances of accidentally clicking on something, right? Or interacting with something. So that doesn't mean they're necessarily bad, those spam emails. It makes you more involved than you want to be. So, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to show you how to add one thing really quick, and then I will go into the Amazon thing and we'll really see how to use this, okay? So, another thing that I commonly use this for, other than passwords, is, so if I add a new item, do you see this thing called an identity? Okay. So I use this a lot, and this is another thing that we can save for later and fill. So the whole job here is to try and make our digital lives easier. And there is a point in doing this because I have a feeling I'm going to use this later, so I'm preemptively getting us there. But essentially what this is has anyone ever gone to a website and they want to know like your first name, your last name, your next cousin, things like that, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
in other words, what I'm showing is you can type that in here once, and then you can just reuse that same form in any time you need it. I'm not going to get into that today because that's going to complicate things, but you can also do that with credit cards and all sorts of things inside your password manager. Yep.
Is it encrypted enough that your credit card information would be?
I would say so.
As, for instance, if you give it to.
I would say so, yeah. I mean, again, there's always a consideration of whether you personally feel comfortable with your credit card information there, but I have built up the security around my password manager enough that yes, although I will not show you, I have all that information in here currently, so.
And so if you go to like a new website and
Mhm.
they're asking for your credit card details.
Yep, you could.
You just do whatever you need to do to get to that identity and it will put it in for you and they don't see it.
Yeah, usually. So the tools that we use nowadays are pretty smart. So they'll recognize when it's a form asking for names or a credit card form asking for credit card details, and it'll say, hey, do you want to use this credit card that you've saved?
Yeah.
And then it'll go, and it'll fill it all in for you. Of course, it's all up to how nice the website is. So sometimes it doesn't all work, but or it doesn't always autofill. But what I tend to do is you can always go to the password manager manually and look up that information too and still secure. But that's that's a later set of explanations. I'm going to try and focus on the 90% part right now.
Right.
So
Oh, yeah.
did you add that to your bank?
Yes, I did. So see in my items here, I just added what we call an identity. And I could have changed the name of this to like main identity or Dylan Wisdom or whatever. But all I did is essentially add my first name, my middle initial, and to my last name. But you can see here it has all sorts of other things you can add. You can add your birth date, your street address, phone numbers, business, etc., etc., etc. So, but I don't want to go into that. I don't think we need that for this demonstration.
Dylan, I got a question
Yeah.
on this identity. Can we put, is this kind of like where we can put like our I don't have Medicare yet, but Medicare cards or passports?
So if you go down here to show more, so these are just the 6 most common that they use, but they actually have one called membership cards.
So Costco and Sam's,
Mhm.
and that can go in
Yep.
there.
I have my Mo fishing license in there, my conservation license in there.
Yeah, like my NRA and all
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't want to divulge too much on that because whatever. But you can any piece of information you think. Yeah.
That was under what? To do, under
It's just
memberships,
you
right?
just add it. Yep. You just add it. Yeah.
So Medicare or
Your insurance.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So I just went to Amazon.com, and now I'm going to create an account. I just hit sign in. I didn't do anything fancy, right? I just went to Amazon.com and I hit the big sign in button, and now I'm here. So now you can see a whole bunch of other ones that I have saved. I told you I have like 5 Amazon accounts, but I don't have the one that we need right now.
We want to see Grandma's Amazon.
Nope.
She's in Greece, so.
Yeah.
Always so funny.
We'll have to tell Bonnie that when she comes back. Dylan showed us your Amazon account.
Yeah. We bought.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good time with
Yeah,
it.
we went shopping.
We bought some stuff for the class.
Yeah, she went on a trip, so we're stuck here. We're gonna shop on your Amazon.
But see, this is adding the account manually because I don't currently have an Amazon account to go in and add to the password manager. I'm just creating a brand new account. I don't have an account yet.
Okay.
I have an email address, which is what I've put in now, but I don't have an account yet. It doesn't know I do.
And so what does that have to do with putting it in the manager?
I'll show you.
He's gonna show us
Yeah.
how to
He's
add
gonna
it.
show us right
Yep.
now.
Because I'll answer that so you can kind of get what I'm trying to get at. So when you first set up your manager, because I'm kind of going through the perspective you don't have one or you don't have one set up. So you added a lot of your accounts manually, but you don't always want to keep doing that, right? Because that's a lot of work to keep managing that. So I want to show you is if you happen to have or change your account, your password manager will automatically recognize that and offer to save that for you. So you don't have to do that manually. So, yeah.
So that, like when the bank wants us to change it after 3 months or whatever,
They can handle that too, and I'll go through that.
you'll go through that?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
By the way, he did not like that the other day when I told him
What's that?
that I was gonna use one password.
Who?
At Central Bank.
Oh,
They're like, oh, we don't encourage you to use those.
it's because most people don't make them secure enough, but we'll get to that. Okay, so see, it says I'm new, which is true. So I'm going to proceed to create an account. Okay, so do you see why I preempted that first thing? So see how it says first and last name?
Yeah.
See that identity I created?
Awesome. That's
What's in my name? Easy peasy, didn't have to type that. Okay, look at this. Now you're like, crap, I have to come up with a password,
Yeah,
another
no, it's
password.
Suggesting one.
It suggests one.
It's suggesting one for you.
Exactly.
Is that?
So I don't have to create one.
He doesn't have to learn it.
Right. It's just telling me what to use. So I'm going to say, okay, that looks super complicated, right? So I'm going to choose that.
But that's because he hadn't had an account. Now, if he had already had the account.
It would
he-
update the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, look, so now it's saying, okay, I put a password. It suggested me a password. And then so I just copy that twice. And now it's saying, hey, save login, new item. It's confirming with me. It's saying Amazon. This is my email address. And I'm going to just, yeah, don't worry about that part. I'll get to that. But I just want to make sure it ends up in the right place. So, so in other words, see, it recognizes that I know I didn't have it before. So I'm like, oh, of course, please save that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit verify email, which
They all are doing that now.
Yep, which are all doing that, and I believe I was signed in over here.
They send you the number code, Joyce,
Yep.
to verify.
And isn't that a pain to kind of switch
It
back and
is.
forth?
It is hard.
I'm going to show you how a lot of websites allow even one password to manage those 6 number digits for you.
Really?
Yeah, see? Okay, see, now we're getting the steam going,
That's golden.
right?
This is, because you think, oh, I gotta remember that number, 493342, to get.
Right. See?
My iPhone
Does
being
that
paid.
automatically.
Yeah. Okay, so stick with, okay, go ahead.
Stop,
Go
Joyce.
ahead, go ahead.
No, Joyce, go for it.
Well, I have this problem in that I use my phone mostly.
Sure.
So they go, okay, we're gonna verify your email, and they
Yeah.
send me the code to my email. But I'm on their website,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, if I go back to my email, are you gonna lose my place? Half the time they do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God,
Yeah.
what do I do now? I'm not in the code anymore.
Yep. No, I totally understand. And although, so just a blanket statement, using password managers like this are kind of at the mercy of the website being nice enough for the password manager to play with. But the goal of this is so that you don't have to go to multiple places to get all of your sign-in information. It's so that you can have it all in one place and make your life easier. So for you, Joyce, that would mean like not having to switch back and forth. It would I would put it in there for you. So this is all part of that. Yep.
I would be happy. I would
Yeah, because the problems you're facing are the same for anyone who has to switch between the website and the email address and everything. It can be a real big pain. So I entered my security code. I'm going to create your Amazon account. I'm going to create my Amazon account, I'm sorry. An account created. So I want to just show you this really quick. This is the part where you have to be a little knowledgeable. But long story short, it popped up a box that's saying, hey, oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a step. My apologies. Let me pause for a second because I thought this was saying something else. I assumed, and now I look dumb. So has anyone heard of a pass key? They're newer. Does anyone understand what they are?
No.
Okay, great. So what they are is they're trying to get away from people putting in passwords because of everything that I've described in multiple times. But that's okay because they've made these password managers able to manage them as well. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I promise it's okay. It may seem stressful and overwhelming, but it's okay.
It does.
So what they're saying is now it's recognized that I can save a passkey. But instead of me trying to figure out what that means or where that goes, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to tell OnePass where I want that passkey to be stored. So see this Amazon account that I just created? I'm just going to tell it to save it. And then we're going to be on our way. That's it. That's all we had to do. Don't worry about it. Don't fuss over it. And see, Amazon's happy now. Passkey created. I didn't have to do anything fancy. I didn't have to do anything else. The biggest thing, you just have to read, right? You just have to,
Okay.
yeah.
Pay attention to what's on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So,
Joyce, you should have Dylan come out and get you set up.
yeah, sure.
Oh,
But see,
I
now,
like to do it myself and then screw it up and then.
that's the best way to learn. That is the best way to learn.
Oh, yeah,
I
screw it
can
up.
do that,
Yeah.
so we'll be
Yeah.
calling the National Guard.
Okay, so now did you see how it sent me that one-time code so I can log into my account? So that's what I call MFA or 2FA, right? So multiple factor authentication, meaning I have more than one item to prove who I am. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to sign out of my account. And then I'm going to sign in like I set up my Amazon account. I saved it all, whatever. I'm done for the day. I signed out. I left the computer room. Next day I'm back. I want to order some, I don't know, something exciting. Socks. Sure. So we're going to go back into our Amazon account to order some socks. If it feels like you're not doing a lot with the password manager, that's a good feeling because it shouldn't be hard work. It's going to be more work to set it up, which I can help individually. It's a little harder, but the goal of it is to not have to. It's there to make your life easy. So if it feels like it's getting easier and easier, and it's like, why is it so easy? That's a good feeling. So anyway, so I click inside that box and it's going to recognize that I need my username. So I'm going to put in my username. It threw in my password. It threw in my passkey. Did you see that? It happened really fast. You may not have even noticed.
It popped up.
Yep. And then this is just another question. I don't have to do that now. I'm not going to. It's just telling me that I could also add my phone number for MFA. But the passkey also makes that secure. Yep. Well, it's not quite MFA. I will get to the actual MFA. But anyway,
Okay.
this is not what I want to show you now. So I'm going to hit not now on that. And look, I'm in my Amazon account. And I can look for all the cool socks I want.
Well, that is a
Those
big
are cute.
one.
Looks cute.
I would rather be in the mountains. Anyway, now, are we all getting the point of what I'm trying to reach us to? Okay.
We don't have a grandma's account.
I know, I know. Okay,
Can't order these on Bonnie.
So-
So basically, when we set up with the one password,
Uh-huh.
we have to know that password.
yes,
But every other thing we have, every bank, everything, will have its own password. but
Yes.
It's all stored in one password.
correct,
But we only all have to know one, but the one will know all of them.
correct, yes. And that is where most people start getting really skittish about the
Yes.
idea because you're like, okay, I have one key for all my keys.
Yeah.
I will get to that, I promise, because that's a
Okay.
very
Okay.
important concept.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to think I'm just blowing over that very scary fact, right? I do recognize that is a huge trust thing, and I want to get into that. But I want to... I'm so sorry. I don't mean to keep zooming. I want to show you a couple more things, and then I think I'll get into the other more boring textbooky type stuff.
Helen,
Yeah.
explain the basic difference between password and passkey.
So very good question. So a password, a passphrase, and passkeys are all similar. So a password is traditional. It's a word that we come up with. It's kind of changed the way that it looks, but it's all a word that we come up with that we can type in to prove who we are. So I log in, I go to bank.com, I put in my name, Dylan. My password is whatever. And so that's me telling the bank, oh, I am who I am because I can prove to you that with my password. Then they came up with, and then passwords are pretty short and typically insecure. And then what they did is they came up with passphrases, which are easier for human brains to remember and to make longer because you're using multiple words. But it's easier for the human brain to remember multiple words, even if they're random, than it is really long strings of nothing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then a passkey, it's an even further evolution of that, where they're cutting the human out in the middle altogether. And what they do is they store a completely random encrypted password on your computer, and then the two computers talk together and they unlock each other. You are never involved. And what that does is that protects against cyber crimes where you're the apex of that, meaning that you're the one providing them with that password.
So that one that you have that you created,
Mm-hmm.
would you call that a passkey?
It would be. And you won't know what the passkey looks like.
Yeah, you created. I know you created.
that's fine.
it, but you're saying it's called a passkey.
It is called a passkey.
Key.
And that's computer...
Which is password, passkey, kind of one and the same.
Kind of, but it's from computer to computer.
Yeah.
So a password is human to computer. Passkey is computer to computer. Yeah.
That
Can the passkey remember your passphrases?
No, that's not what it is. A
You
passkey...
don't have that option.
No, because a passkey is not something... It's not something that manages... It's literally a password that the computer understands.
Generates.
Yep.
So we still have to be a little bit.
Yeah. Right. The
Yeah.
the passkey is another in a perfect world we would all have our passkeys inside our password manager and we would never have passwords again. But we're not quite there yet. Passkeys are a very new evolution of password technology. But the goal is to be so you don't have to remember anything ever. We're not there yet. Don't get caught up on the passkey thing. It's very new in terms of like personal technology and things that I just don't want to confuse you because I think that could be a whole class all on its own.
Okay.
So you're just going to have to give me a level of trust at this moment. Okay. So now let's say for whatever reason, and I don't want to divulge on how I got to this in Amazon because it changes for website. But let's say that I have a need to change my password, right? So I want to change my password now and make sure that it gets in my password manager so I can use that in the future. So I went
On your Amazon account.
right on my Amazon account, because this is one of the things it does. It helps you manage these. So I'm going into Amazon account. I went to Amazon.com, logged in, went to my settings, and now I'm going to change my password. Okay, so my current password is down here. See how it is Amazon and it gives me this email address? Okay, then it's going to give me an updated use suggested password. And then it's going to say, oh, save login. And then I'm going to choose the one that I want. Most of you won't have multiple Amazon accounts. I'm sorry. For this not to happen, I would have to go through and delete my own. So,
No.
but do you see where it says update?
Yeah.
I just said update.
That
And
was
then-
gonna be my question, Dylan.
And then
You
I have
just
to hit,
answered that.
hang on, and then why are you doing that? Go away. And then I have to hit save changes here, and that's what actually saves it. But that little pop-up box on the side is what actually saved the password in your manager. So I updated the password in Amazon, and I don't have to go to my password manager and then update it. It did it all in one, right. Does that make sense? So you don't have to try and manage two places. It's trying to eliminate how much of that you have going on, so you don't forget.
So you just edited your Amazon account.
And it
caught it in your bank.
Yep.
Or whatever you want
Yep.
to call it. And it went over there and now I'm good.
Yep.
Okay, so
What-
it automatically went to your password manager and said you want to save this, right?
Yep.
And then you go, yes, I do.
Yep. It just
Okay.
showed up on. It was like a pop up, and it was like. And usually, if you're on a phone, it comes up from the keyboard, Joyce.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Why would you want to change your password?
Because the password wasn't secure before.
Somebody got caught.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
not the one from,
Exactly. So a lot of the times where you will be doing this function now is like a lot of you are going to have insecure passwords, and if you want to go in and change that, and so you save your Amazon account as it is now, and then you go in and you change your Amazon account to make it a better password, and then you have two problems. One, updating the other manager and coming up with a secure password. It already came up with a secure password for you, and then went ahead and updated it for you. So that's the problem and the solution right there. Yeah.
so once I get one step, and
Yeah.
then I go into Amazon
Right.
and say I want to go in and change. my
Yep.
password.
Yep. And let's say, just as another vector, not to confuse anyone, but let's say that you go ahead and just change your Amazon password and it's weak and you have your password manager set up. Even if you never have a record of the Amazon account in your password manager yet, it'll still recognize that you're putting in a password and it'll ask you to save that. It's like, hey, you're on Amazon.com putting in a password. Would you like to save that? But at that point, it'll be a save and not an update. So don't get confused in that. All I'm trying to say is that they have tried to be smart enough that no matter what scenario you're in, if you're entering a password on a website, they're going to try and capture that for you so that you don't forget it later. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to give you a linear... Yeah.
But that's not as secure.
No, it says secure.
Yeah.
You just need to make sure what is insecure and related to the password managers is the passwords you already have in there.
Right.
Yeah.
The initial password. is-
Right, the initial password, yep.
Yeah,
Those are what we're...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you use.
Right.
Yeah, the password manager in this instance is really just the tool to try and help you manage and create more complex and secure passwords.
Right,
Does that make sense?
yes.
So you use all the gobbledygook.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think I really only know one password off the top of my head, and that's my master password. And it's really long. It's about this big, but I memorized it, so I didn't have to write
The
it
one
down.
you showed us.
No, you don't know it. I'm not going to show you that.
No, that was a made up one for us today.
Yeah, but my
I thought you showed us yours.
no, I showed you a fake one that I made.
Oh. okay.
But the one the one that I use for my password manager is longer than that and about as complicated. But bear with me.
Never mind.
Bear with me, yeah. But that's because yes.
And with Amazon, for instance, I have, my son is on my account because he's in another
Mhm.
city. So how would he then get into Amazon?
We'll get to that. Because I'm the same way. Like, I think in my family we all have the streaming services, but we each pay for one of them and we all share. So I get you. Yeah.
Now, When you went to do the new password, say you're in a bank account and they only take 8 digits, will it shorten the secure password to the 8 digits?
Not automatically, but you can tell it to. And we can talk about that specifically because that's getting less and less common, and I don't want to confuse everything. But
Or are they going to take that as a secure password sometime?
they may. You can just go ahead and try, and then worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's worth a try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cancel. It's trying to set me up with another passkey. Anyway. Okay, so now it wants me to log in again because I just changed my password, and I'm going to. Okay. Sorry, and I don't want to get more into passkeys, but I said passkeys were MFA. They are another way of authenticating, but they're not considered traditional MFA. If you only have a passkey, you still need to set up MFA. That's a big topic. I just wanted to be clear on me stating that. It's just another form of password. That's all I'm going to say. We should probably have another class in the future. But last thing I want to show you in terms of saving information, then I want to get some more textbooky type stuff. Oh, gosh dang it. Sorry. Okay, so 2-step verification. I'm going to go in and do this manually, but most of the time when this is happening, it's usually them popping up on the web saying, hey, set this up, right? Has anyone gotten to a page like that where it's like, please set up MFA now? And you're like, later. Yeah. So assume right now Amazon is asking you to set up MFA. Hello everyone. Hi. I just want to interrupt the video for a second to let you know that unfortunately there was an issue with the rest of the video. Fortunately, I had gotten through most of the demonstration part of it, so the rest of it was just a lot of question and answers, so there wasn't a lot of demonstration. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and record, post all of this if there's anything to show on the screen. So you won't see me in the video, but you'll see anything that needs to be demonstrated. I try to record these videos with a higher quality, and something went wrong with the video, so I've already have a game plan on how to keep this from happening in the future, but I appreciate your patience as I try to figure all this out and make this content better. So like I said, just wanted to stop here, let you know that I had an issue with the video, but in an effort to make sure that you still got all of the information, I will go ahead and add the audio from where the video stopped, and then I'll demonstrate where we need to be. But like I said, most of the time it's just things that should be listened to. So great, I will continue straight from here, and of course, thank you guys as always. Bye. And now instead of saying later, we're going to figure out how to manage that in 1Password. So, okay. I always have great ideas in my head on how everything should flow, and then they
don't flow.
No, I know.
Well, I say take your time, because people always get impatient with me for how long it takes me to get stuff done. And I'm like, just give me a second.
Yeah.
I'll
trying to
get
figure it
done.
out, yeah.
No, I'm not turning off talkback so you can use my phone. I'm gonna do it myself.
Okay, so there are 2 ways to, most companies nowadays, I'll say 3, how they're doing multi-factor authentication. Number 1 is through your email, which is what I just did. They email you a code. Number 2 is they send you a phone number, and then they text you a code.
Right.
Okay, so for most convenience, I'm going to show you, see where it says Authenticator app down here, and it says generate OTP. So OTP stands for one-time password, and I'm going to show you how to get those 6-digit codes and store those inside of 1Password as well. So we're going to...
Why would I want to store those codes?
So that like Joyce's situation there, where she has to bounce back between her email or text messages. So instead of having to bounce between 2 places, you can store them all together.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you don't have to apologize. It's all good. So anyway,
So if you're using a family member's app, they have to have this set up.
Right. That gets more complicated. There are caveats to that too, but bear with me for now. I want to get,
We're not there.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. I know.
My motor just keeps going.
No, you're okay. There is a solution for almost everything. The problem is that there's so many different, but for the basic of starting out and doing this is where we're at. But anyway, so most of the time when you're prompted to set up like an MFA account or like that, you're going to get a QR code and it's going to tell you to do a whole bunch of fancy things to get to that point, right? It's okay. No, it's 1Password actually makes it really easy. So I'm going to, oh gosh, I was worried it just showed my, anyway, okay. So I opened 1Password from my browser. Don't get hung on that yet. And then usually there's a button here. Right here it's here. And then see where it says scan QR code? So I'm going to click that. And what it does is it scans this QR code for you in the box. And then now see that 6-digit code that's in there? So now now it wants me to verify the code here, right? So now I'm going to hit open. I'm going to, oh, sorry. That's just terrible screen placement. That's not. No, it's okay. Hang on. And then see. So in other words, like kind of like the drop downs like you did before where it says your password or your username and whatnot, it'll do the same thing for your OTP codes and that copies it for you and puts it in there. It's just a giant recorder, to be honest. Yeah.
But that was back in the 1Password,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Okay. Those were the basic functions. So we've got like about a half an hour left. Those were the basic functions that I would focus on doing with a password manager. Okay, please take a breath. Yes, it is.
Now start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could take a second, answer the question, why is it better to do this than to write it down on a notebook and keep it in a secure spot?
Okay, no, very valid question. So when you talk about security, we always think about preventing someone to getting into our stuff, but security is also about losing things. So you have to also consider that aspect when you're talking about paper. So on the security side, people getting into your stuff when it comes to paper, you can always say the argument, oh, what if a burglar comes in, sees my book that's labeled passwords and steals it? That is true. Don't get me wrong. That is true, but that is not right. Yeah. Well, I find it ironic that most password books that you buy on Amazon, they have passwords written right on the front of them. Yeah. So that is true, and that is something to definitely consider when you're talking about the security of your passwords. But also, how many copies of that piece of paper do you have, Joyce?
One.
Right. So what happens if for some reason it gets thrown away or burnt or something happens?
You're right.
Yeah. And I don't mean that in like a how silly of you way. It's just we don't ever think about that, right? And it's a very honest thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But we want to consider security also being able to physically lose those passwords. And the password manager also prevents that as well. So
My daughter says mine's very secure because I write it in Braille.
no, I mean, she's not wrong.
That is true.
I would not be able to read your passwords, and I don't think the average person would. Actually, I'm curious. Answer me a question. Do you know if Braille is the same in all languages?
It is not actually, no.
See?
The English alphabet or the alphabet, if you use if a language uses the letters of the English alphabet, they're the same. But each character in the language it's different. For instance, in Braille 2 in English, the character for the, T-H-E,
Mm-hmm.
is a certain set of dots. In Spanish, that same character is the A sound. Like if you're accenting the E, they use that character for the accented E in like, I don't know, whatever, después or something. The end E is that character. It's not the.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to memorize. If you're learning something new, like a new language, or even like Braille music, it's completely different characters. You have to memorize what they mean, because C in the English letter C is actually D if you're using the music notation.
Interesting. So
This should be a piece of cake, Joyce.
right? Yeah. So I will give you writing down in terms of someone visually being able to steal your passwords. I will give you the fact that you're pretty much doing encryption on your own passwords on paper.
However,
that
if
alone.
I use that notebook, I am
Right,
so.
exactly. So I will give you points for that for sure, because that's pretty impressive all on its own. But again, if something happens to that notebook physically, you're also super screwed.
So if we have Joyce do all of our passwords, we're
Sure.
really in trouble because we can't.
Right. Yes, Judy.
So I have thought about taking my tattered pencil written list of passwords and typing it in an Excel spreadsheet
Okay.
where I can copy my email address all the way down and so on and so forth, but then it's on my computer, which is only recognized by me when I log in.
Sure.
Oh, but yeah.
So hang on. So I would consider that potentially more secure than having it on paper, especially if you back up stuff on your computer. However, there are certain other risks with that still, because if for whatever reason someone does manage to intrude your computer by your means or forcefully, they could also get to it. And that is not to say that is necessarily impossible with a password manager either, but it is, because of certain security requirements, it is a lot less likely. So I think for you, if you were to do that, I think that is definitely, I would recommend that as an intermediary step. In other words, if it's easier for you to enter all that information into an Excel worksheet, a lot of these tools allow you to import that information from Excel into them. So it's up to you. It's not a wrong answer, but I just want to make sure I'm clear on the potential issues with it. But again, a lot better than putting it on paper, because you could potentially have backups, and it is behind a locked screen. So
Well, I could print it out
please don't.
and then take it to the computer, and then it wouldn't be there anymore.
True.
I do.
But then what happens if something happens to that paper again?
Well, I have it with one of my daughters.
That's not a bad idea either. No. And I'm not. No. Yeah, but those aren't wrong answers though. To be clear, this is not the only way to manage your passwords. This is just the easiest and most have to deal with it sort of way I can think of.
Electronic way.
Right.
It's also helpful for those of us that have multiple apps.
Correct.
Multiple accounts that we get into
I have-
on a daily basis, and we're flipping around all the time.
I think I have nearly 200 to 300 accounts stored in mine. So
Oh my gosh.
okay. So that's the basic functions of password managers. I have a little more information if you guys, we still have class time, or would you rather me go into more detail, or do you have more questions on this?
Well, keep going.
Okay. Again, I'm not trying to push myself, but if you have questions, give me a text or a call. I'm more than happy to answer.
You
Yes.
might have to go over it again and again.
That's okay.
I guess I do have one.
Sure.
So, is there a difference between, for instance, the free and the paid?
There is. It depends on what product you're buying, what the free and paid versions are. Like the two main password managers, other than the ones built in like Google and Apple, those are a different thing, and we may get to that question.
Yeah.
But the two like paid for password managers that I suggest are 1Password and Bitwarden. If you want to read into them more, you can go to their websites, and they have all sorts of information on what they do to secure your information, etc.
Okay.
1Password doesn't have a free option, to be honest with you. It's like two something a month or something. It's like $20-$30 a year. And that's why I choose it. They're pretty cheap. But Bitwarden does have a free version. And I think it just limits either the type of information you can add or what you can do with that information in terms of sharing it or other stuff like that. So you could very well find a free option that fits your needs. I personally found it very worth the money for my own personal situation to pay for one, but that doesn't mean you have to.
But now, you're saying the Google and the Apple ones,
Oh, there's nothing wrong with those either. They're just, because they're baked into those products,
Right.
they operate a little differently.
I see.
But the concepts are the same. So it would be harder for me to go through a guided session like this and reliably show you step by step what to do. But you can still use them very, very similarly.
And they're still secure, reasonably secure?
I would call them secure, yes, but it all depends on, so like with Apple and your passwords. So they used to call it keychain, and I'm sure that's what most people are used to hearing it as if they have heard of it. But they call it Apple passwords now, or just passwords. The thing with that is it's pretty much built into all your Apple devices. So the password manager itself is secure, or considered secure. But if your phone is not secure, like if you have 1111 as your password or whatever, then you're in problem.
Or no password.
Right, or no password, yes.
Because you're so annoyed with it.
Right.
I got one
Yeah.
that goes.
But does that make sense? It's not necessarily the tool
Yeah.
that's insecure. It's about how you're using the tool.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I get it.
Okay, let me, unless we have more questions, I'm going to go. Yeah.
So let's say I get one password, then I get anything I need, I start one by one putting them in.
Yeah.
And that's with my email address I have now, but if you've changed your email address, let's say you have to go back.
So usually in 1Password, if you change your email address on something, are you saying you changed, like you had an account for bank.com and you changed that email address on that?
Well, let's say I had an email address,
Sure.
then I've changed it now to, and it's a Gmail. And it's
Got
been
it,
a
got
couple years. But some of those
Old accounts?
old accounts, I'm like, well, maybe I still want them.
So no, typically, and please let me know if this makes sense, because I want to be very clear on this, because this happens to a lot of people. No, so if you have an old email address for bank.com and you sign in with that email address and you have your password, you're probably fine. The problem happens is if that password ever gets lost or whatever else and you have to reset that password, if that email address is no longer active, they're most likely going to send reset instructions to that email address. And so if you can't get into that email address, you may lose that account. It's different with banks and stuff because they have like account numbers and stuff they can verify with. But let's say like, I don't have a good example off the top of my head, I went blank, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you have no other identifiable information on an account other than your email address and you lose access to that, you do put yourself at risk of losing that account. That's not, to be clear, it's not a problem though. Usually most websites allow you to go in and edit that email address if you are concerned about losing access to it. Yeah, and then you can also do that in the password manager. Yeah.
Does 1Password, the product you use,
Mm-hmm.
does it compose really weird passwords? And so when you go to put in an account on a website, does it have the ability to make a password for you and save it?
Yeah.
Something that's not anywhere in your head or anything.
Yeah.
You know, or do you always have to put in manually your list of passwords?
No. I'm not sure if I understood, so I'm going to
Yeah.
say what I thought I
Yeah.
understood and you correct
Yeah.
me. So, maybe.
If
One
you
more time.
ask it to, will it make you a nondescript password for
Oh,
that
yeah.
time? And then you can save it, and that's my password. And
Yeah.
of course, I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
but 1Password knows.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. Yeah.
You mean your manager?
So you wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
You mentioned
right.
manager.
You don't have to come up
1Password
with
is
a
your manager.
password. 1Password
Yeah.
creates and saves a password.
Right. You can also.
For each one of your accounts.
Right.
Exactly.
Every
Yep.
time you use that account, say, oh yeah, I want to create a password.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of it. So
Yeah.
what you can go through and do, you can add a whole bulk amount. If you know, like you visit 10 websites within a week,
Regularly.
you can add those 10 in at first. And if you forget one later on, your passwords manager is going to say, hey, you logged in, but you don't have a record of this. Would you like to save a record of it? And it's going to do that.
And that's when you say,
Yep.
yes, I do.
Yep.
And that's the
Yeah.
password.
again, I don't have time to go through every scenario, but my point in saying that is they have tried as hard as they can to make it as easy as it can, because that's why people pay them.
Okay, right.
I mean, yeah, so. But no, good question. Very good question. I already went over that. I had a structured slide deck, and then we got really fluid with it, so I just went through. So I might have covered some of this already. I'm not going to go into this yet because I'm feeling the crowd, and I feel like that's going to very well confuse certain things. Have you seen anything where instead of putting in an email address or a password, where it says sign in with Apple, or sign in with Microsoft, or sign in with this?
Yes.
Okay, so essentially what you're doing is you're using your, I'm going to say Apple because I think that's the most easy to understand in my regard, or Microsoft. What they do is let's say it's Amazon. I don't think Amazon has this function, but just stick with me. Amazon will say, hey, this person, it goes to Apple, because you choose sign in with Apple. Amazon goes to Apple and say, hey, this person gave me permission to use your credentials to sign into my website. And Apple's like, okay, fine. Because you proved. I mean, you have to prove that that's okay. You usually have to sign into your Apple account and allow. And then Amazon's like, got it. So what 1Password does, and again, I'm not going to really show you because it'll recognize that, but it'll say, okay, on Amazon.com, actually, you signed in with Apple, and it'll recognize that. And so when it comes up to the login screen, it'll go ahead and choose the sign in with Apple option for you rather than putting in a username and password. So it also does that for you. Yeah. Again, that's very mindless. And that's the goal.
I think sometimes it'll use the question, you want to sign in with Facebook?
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
There's,
whatever.
we call those, not to get too technical, but we call those identity providers, meaning that they can provide a identity to a website. So,
And that's all safe?
yes, yep, yeah, because again though, it's as safe. So signing in to Amazon with your Apple account is as safe as your Apple account is. Okay. Signing into Amazon with your Microsoft account is only as safe as your Microsoft account is. So it's not the transaction that's necessarily unsafe, it's how secure that account is. So if, in other words, if you signed in with 100 website using Microsoft.com and your Microsoft password is log into Microsoft 123, it's probably not very good.
So what you need to do is then, if you're gonna start doing that, is make the Apple more secure.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And I think that makes, I mean,
Say that again, so you have to link it to one of those other accounts?
you don't have to, but a lot of websites are allowing you to. So instead of coming up with, it's another way to get rid of passwords. So what they're saying is I have my Apple account. It's got a email address or username and a password associated with it. I need to log into this new website. This new website can talk to Apple and say, hey, they want to use me, but I'll use the password and username you've already stored to register them on my website. Does that make sense?
And that only works on so many websites.
Right, it's up to the website to decide if they support that or not. But what I'm telling you is,
Support the Apple?
Support.
Right.
Come up
Some
with that.
don't let you sign in with Google or Apple or whatever. They
right.
just-
My point in that being is that,
Old-fashioned way.
right, but all I'm really trying to say is that 1Password is also good at recognizing and recording that as well for you. So you don't have to necessarily remember that you did that in the future. But again, secure your identity that you're using. Yep.
So if it wants to keep doing the MFA, if I'm signing into an account with my brother,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna get the MFA notification.
That is correct. No, that is not. Sorry. Excuse me. MFA makes it difficult to share accounts. That's just true. It makes it difficult to share passwords. There's not a great way that I can tell you in 1 or 2 sentences how to share accounts that are locked by MFA.
Okay. That answers a big question.
Yeah. We can talk about that more in depth between us if you want, but the whole point in MFA is generally to
stop that.
To stop that.
Right. That's kind of like Netflix didn't want you to share the password and watch Netflix
Yes.
in multiple areas.
Yes. So although it seems like a problem, it is actually the solution. Like what you're noticing, like he can't sign in because he needs the MFA thing, is actually intentional. It's intentional to keep other people. It's not intentional in the sense of trying to keep known good people out of your account, but it's a price to pay for the fact of making sure that no bad people get into your account. I know.
Lot to remember.
I know. That's why I record it. You can watch this as many times as you want.
Listen to him and then type and
Yeah.
saying, I don't get this part.
Yeah, you can definitely do
Email
that.
me, oh, no, what am I doing wrong here?
$3, as long as it wants to be there.
Okay, I'm going to go through this really quick.
My brain's don't go.
I'm going to go through a couple things really quick, so don't hate on me. I want to explain that you can do this. There's probably going to be questions on how. It's pretty simple. When you have an item in your 1Password list, like on the left there, if you click on that, does everyone know what the share icon looks like? It's like the little box with the arrow pointing up above it or down below it.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
I will Google it then.
Mine says share. It just, screen reader says
It said sharing. It said sharing.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh.
Ah, dang it. Now my chat is going to give me all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah, what do you think of that GP stuff? You like it?
I use it every day.
That's good.
Really?
Yeah.
ChatGPT?
Yeah. That is,
Is that a website you have to have? An app, I'm sorry?
all above.
Yes.
All of the above. I'm not going to,
Oh, it's something to buy.
You don't pay
You
for
don't
shipping.
have to pay for it, but he told me it's more secure if you do.
that is true. But usually the universal sharing symbol, it looks like, it usually looks like one of these. These are like the universal sharing symbols. So all I'm telling you is, when you share a password in 1Password, you can find the symbol near it, and you can share it with someone.
Oh.
It's an arrow.
The thing the reason why I'm bringing this up now as a thing, you can put in 1Password, you can put a timer on how long someone is able to access that password.
Oh, my.
What you cannot do is prevent them from writing it down for later use. So
That's true.
use that, even though so this is kind of like a PSA of it's a function, but very, like, consider it very heavily whether you should actually use it or not. I can't give you a good yes or no, that's a good or bad thing. It's all about how you want to utilize that and how trusting you are and all that. But just know that, again, you can set expiration dates. It'll give you like an option like, hey, only allow them to click on this link for a day. But that doesn't mean that within that day they can't write it down and store it in their own password manager. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about this because, like, some people may have a lake house where they go there to the Ozarks or wherever for the weekend or winter in
Sure.
Arizona. That's like sharing it with their Fire Sticks or their
Sure.
Roku devices,
Sure.
correct?
The Wi-Fi password?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, without getting into huge technical
I'm
detail.
sorry, I get really technical
No.
because I'm already there.
No. I'm totally okay with the questions. No, I'm totally okay with the questions. I'm fine with the questions. It's just sometimes it's hard to... Anyway, no big deal.
Relate to the...
Right, exactly. So with Wi-Fi, without getting into it too deep, if you're doing something like that, you should have a guest network and a non-guest network.
Oh, I don't.
So a guest network is something where it's separate from your other network, and you can share that password, and you know they won't cross.
Oh.
Interesting.
That is a whole... I'm not going to divulge in that. I would be more than happy to talk to you on like a one-to-one basis, of course, but not at all.
We already have to have that conversation in October now.
Yeah.
We have
No, normally most routers already have that function built in. They're just not turned on by default. But normally if you call your internet provider, they'll help you set it up.
Okay.
If you have more questions on that, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them. It's just that you start getting real technical into that. Okay, I know it's like 2 minutes. I want to hammer this in really quick because this is very, very important.
Okay.
Protecting your manager. Number 1, please verify your email address. What I mean is usually when you create an account with your password manager, there is a function in the manager within the settings that says verify email. It's not fancy. All it does is it sends you a one-time code to your email, and then you put it in, and what that does is it proves that they can send you an email. The reason why that is so important is because for whatever reason, If you get locked out of your manager, forget the password, something crazy happens, that is going to be your number one life raft to get all of your important information back. Right? So we're going at this at the concept of where you have your whole life saved in this thing now, and if you lose access to it, that's going to be a real bad day. So don't have a bad day. There's so many ways not to have that or even get close to it, and that is one of the first things ever. Verify your email and password.
Why do you say that?
Because if you get locked out of your account and they have to send you information to your email to verify your account, and you can't get into your email account,
Right.
you're done.
So like if you go get a new computer,
Yeah, exactly. Or if you forget your password or whatever.
Verify. How do you verify?
So that's what so most password managers have a utility where you can go into the password manager and you can verify the email address by clicking verify. Like it's literally just a button that says verify email, and they'll send you a code, and then you put the code back into the manager and it'll say that. I've also just seen people with characters in their email address that look very similar, and they make a typo and the email address is not correct. Like I's and L's together, or multiple L's or multiple O's or things like that. And so when you first look at it, it's fine, but then that's not an actual email address and you won't get that email. This is number one. Number one.
So maybe my husband didn't do this.
What?
Maybe my husband didn't do that. I told you that
Yeah,
he got locked
yes.
out of his password
That
app
is-
and he couldn't get into it anyway, or maybe he tried with the wrong.
That is most likely what happened. I can't say for certain, but based on my experience with similar
so
issues.
there's no number you could call and have them reset that.
No. No, because no, and I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that, but think about that. If anyone could just call
Oh, yeah.
Right.
and go through a process of trying to get your information back, that would be such a huge security risk. I'm getting into it. There are other ways to secure your account, but this is the number one. There are multiple ways to make sure you never get locked out. Don't get me wrong. There's not one pinnacle thing, but this is the number one option where I see people get caught up in.
And so I
Yeah.
think I asked you before about like hacking, because everything gets hacked anymore.
Mhm.
So if they get in there but everything is supposed to be encrypted or whatever, so
Right.
technically with the encryption, unless they have the code, all the encryption,
Correct.
however it's done, then
So modern encryption with modern computers takes a very, very long time to uncrypt, like longer than our great-great-grandchildren will be alive. So, so yes, if they get hacked, 1Password, whoever gets hacked, they'll see your information, but it'll all be in encrypted code. They'll not be able to tell what is what. They could throw it into a machine to try and decrypt it, but it would take forever. The only thing that can unlock the code is your master password. So your master password is the key to turn that jumble into something that makes sense. And that is the one reason why, like when you unlock a house, you go to the house. Or hang on, I'll give you this example. Let's say you're house sitting. Okay? Someone gives you a key to unlock the house so you can get into it, right? Okay, so you're in your house, you have to unlock this house. Let's say you take that key with you, you get into the car, and someone for some reason knows where you're going, and then they run into you, grab the key, and then go to the house, right? So they can intercept that key in the middle of what you're trying to do. So what we do, we don't do that. So we're not taking our key and we're not giving it to 1Password to unlock our vault. What 1Password is doing is they're taking the encrypted vault or the house, and they're taking the whole house to your house. So if someone catches that house in the middle, they're just got the house. They can't get into it, but they have it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that's the number one reason why we consider them secure, because we don't transmit our passwords over the internet in any way. Strong master password. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. You're going to not like your master password, and that's okay. But you're going to like everything else that comes with it. I would show you, well, no. Mine's long and random. I'll say that. I have memorized it, and you can kind of come up with a scheme of making it make sense to you, but it should be complex, long. If you feel like you need to write it down, you need to add MFA to your paper, meaning that maybe you put it in a lockbox or something like that where no one can just pick it up off your desk. But yeah, your master password, it took me a while to memorize mine. It's going to suck for a while.
Can you use a
So you write
phrase?
that down.
I mean, like Mary had a little lamb.
not that
I
No, well, I'm just.
no. Yeah. Yeah. So that is actually
I'm just
no.
giggling
No.
here.
Great question though, but actually, so like common phrases, lyrics, anything like that are commonly used in like what we call dictionary attacks, where they run through a whole list of common things like that to unlock. I know what you're saying, but they also do dictionary attacks in the terms where they use just strings of words together. Words or strings of words. So if you're literally just putting in words together with no other like symbols or numbers or anything like that, that's also not considered secure.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because symbols and letters are important in your password.
They are.
I mean, in your
Yeah.
master password.
Yeah, because they are. So most of the time when someone's going to, and this doesn't happen very much anymore, not impossible, but doesn't happen as much anymore where someone just guesses your password until you get in, right? Most of the time, all of us get frustrated because we get locked out 3 times after we put in the wrong password, and then to find out it was 1 digit, right? There are ways that they can interact with those by doing that, but essentially what we're trying to avoid is them saying, hey, this is the dictionary, I'm going to just come up with all sorts of combinations, because there's a lot less combinations of different words in the dictionary than there is like numbers and symbols and lowercase and uppercase letters all together, right? So you're essentially trying to create a lot of options if they were to go one by one and guess your password. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I know you've been to our house, and so my email password is probably very poor, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is now they can run through a dictionary of words and basically have like maybe a computer put them together, so words are not
Yeah.
as secure as they maybe once were.
Correct. Not alone.
No.
Not alone. And I'm not saying that you can't use words at all, but you have to be careful in the way in which you implement them. A lot of people commonly substitute certain characters with other characters, like A's and at signs, or U's or O's and zeros, or things like that. That's another common way to turn a word into something a lot more secure. Also, the requirements about length. Just adding length to something makes it a lot more secure because you're adding a whole nother set of possibilities to it. And then symbols, uppercase, lowercase. I mean, lowercase and uppercase characters to computers are 2 different things. Like a lowercase a and a capital A aren't the same thing to a computer, so they also have to try all those options.
Okay.
So really what you're going for is you're going for a combination of things, not just one thing.
Right.
Yeah. So to say using words is bad is not correct, but if you're using words alone, that is not good.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Okay. Even if it's a weird word.
It could be a perfectly weird word. It could be a word in a different language, or,
But it's not secure.
Right. I still think this is fun, so I'm going to say it again because I know you guys probably won't use it, but emojis nowadays are actually technically characters that you can use in passwords. They're ASCII characters, yeah. So if you wanted to add like a heart emoji at the end of your password, you could.
Oh, you can now?
Yeah, you can.
I was gonna
It
ask
depends
if
on the
you could-
website if they accept it or not, but yes, generally speaking, yeah. Yeah.
I did pop up on one of mine the other day when I was looking.
Yeah, I mean, and it may sound silly, but at the end of the day, it's like, it adds a lot more possibilities to your stuff.
Do you call a website the same as an app?
No.
No, 2 different things.
Most websites have apps. Like Amazon.com is a website, but they also have the Amazon app.
Okay.
And that's how you kind of have to look at it. Okay. Last thing really quick, and then we'll be done. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
worries.
fine.
No, we're sorry we're keeping you.
No, it's okay. I wanted to show you something here, 2 things really quick. I know I just said one, but bear with me. So I blurred out a lot of my information, but 1Password has this thing. It's called your emergency kit. What they do is you can download this and print it and store it in a safety deposit box or something like that.
Oh.
And what that is let's say you get locked out of your manager for whatever reason. You know you have this sheet with all of the important stuff to get yourself back into it. Now, 2 reasons to have that. Number 1, you do get locked out of it, so you need to go personally get back in. Or you write in your farewell card or will or whatever that when something happens to you, to get into your accounts, there is a sheet at this bank in this deposit box with this key with all your information to get into that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Again, this sheet has a lot of power in it, so you need to make sure it's very protected, because if I have this, I have you, right?
So don't laminate it and hand it to every neighbor in the block.
Yes.
Up there in the title, it says 1Password, but what's the O? in the-
Emergency kit.
No.
This right here?
Yeah, what, I can't.
That's
read
their
it.
symbol.
The what?
That's their symbol.
It's there.
It's just their symbol.
It's the 1Password has a symbol of a key lock. You're talking about this right here?
Right, I can't read it.
Yeah, it's not a word. It's just it's a key lock.
So it's not a 0, it's
No.
not an O.
It's supposed
not
to be
an O.
it's supposed to be the
Capital
word.
or not.
It's supposed to be the O in word.
Yeah, I just can't.
It's a play on words.
Oh, it's got, is it an I or an O?
It's an O.
I would have to get
Well,
very
what's in the
close
middle,
to
an I?
read it.
Yeah, you're fine. You can look. It's
Oh,
like
I
a
see.
it's like a key hole.
With a line in it.
Yeah, right.
It's like a key.
Oh, an I.
Yeah.
I thought it was an S originally, but.
Okay, so 1Password doesn't do this, but I will show you something that Bitwarden, which is another product that I've talked about, does.
Yeah, I saw that bit word.
Oh my gosh.
So 1Password, you don't get that kit?
No, you do. You do.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. I did say that. I did phrase that interesting. No, 1Password does this. Bitwarden does that and something additional, and I wanted to show you that. So, and most password managers do these. I'm just trying to give you more than one example. Like Bitwarden has an emergency, what they call a security readiness sheet, which is very similar to the emergency kit. It essentially has all the other same kind of information on it too. What Bitwarden does though, is it actually has a function where you can set up someone's email address as an emergency contact. And what you can do is you can hit SOS on the app in your phone. Like if you get locked out, you can say, oh, I'm locked out, I need my emergency access. And then it grants that person at that time access to your stuff. That's a simple way of saying it. I prefer just the sheet method because then there's no funny stuff and then you can just save that in the box. But yeah, last class I had questions of what happens if I get locked out, what happens if something happens to me, all sorts of stuff like that. But this can essentially ensure, a sheet like this can ensure that your stuff can be transferred, because I've helped many people after spouses have passed or incidents have happened, and it is generally a mess to try and figure out what they had access to or where or how. So not that usually all that can be rectified, but this makes that process a lot easier. So that was really all I had.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.